When we look at disarms, when we do any reference point, remember from last week when we did the 10 basic blocks, you want to step in with them block, because you don't want this to be 50-50, you want it to be more 70-30, right? Grab the stick for the punch disarm, twist that up, I line up my knuckles with the back of his hand, I'm pushing, pulling, and twisting all at the same time, and then I strike him back, ditch the stick behind me, or I go double stick, right? That is the punch disarm, very, very basic. A more intricate version of that is the elbow disarm, where I use a transition block. I use my puño, slide down, roll into his wrist to expose the back of his hand, pull him in, elbow, and then I'm in the same position. Same concept, a little bit more intricate. So of course, I can get the punch disarm much quicker, but there's a higher chance I'm going to fail. Okay? If I get here, and if he knew I was going to do a punch disarm, because I'm grabbing it equally on the other end, he could just pull his hand back, and then we're going to fight over the stick, and I lose that position. I lose the back of his hand. If I punch towards his knuckles, well then I'm just pushing the stick into the base of his palm. So I need to get the back of the hand. I need this. Right? So when I get to this position for the elbow disarm, I have more control. And even if he wants to pull back, I have my puño section to keep that more sturdy. And so I can maybe not necessarily pull him in and break his base, but I can definitely expose the back of the elbow for my, the back of his hand for my elbow disarm. Okay? So there's a pro and con to both, and then we can use them as follow-ups to each other as well. If I do the punch disarm and I miss, I can come back, and then I get the elbow disarm. Now, we get to a point, and like this is more so against a trained person, arguably let's say it's against one of us, each other, where we're very aware of what they're doing. So when I get to this position, he learns at a high level of defense, he only has to defend the the necessary parts here. He doesn't have to defend everything. Because he knows that if I could pull a stick, great, that will threaten someone who doesn't know what they're doing. But at any point in time, he can grip release me here. And we're going to learn that a little bit later on in the month. But he can get rid of my hand easily. It's this wrist bend that he needs to fight. Because when he loses that, he loses control and power over his grip, which will definitely mean I can disarm him. But from here, he can find ways out of it. He can counter me maybe with a seitan with a punch, he can kick. There are ways to defend smaller details like me putting my stick here and not necessarily rolling it yet, grabbing the end of his stick, it's this actual roll he needs to defend. So he pops that wrist up, he doesn't let me roll, so I have to think outside the box. I can't do the same thing because he's very specifically defending against something that is preventing me from disarming him. So I use this as the Ulisi lever, I put his stick over, my under into my arm here, take that away, pull, and simple disarm mat. As long as I subtract the stick from him, I win. Doesn't matter if I keep it, doesn't matter if it's my stick or his stick, as long as I have one and he doesn't. In some cases, it'll be I don't have one and he doesn't have one, but I would try to avoid that because that just ends up being 50-50 again. Right? So what we did today is we tried to flow those together so even in disarming in the striking variation, where it has to be aggressive, it has to be consuming and very rigid at times, I can still flow my technique. So I purposely fail, I come back, he tries to defend very intricately, and I go right to the lever, and then I take it. But I'm trying to teach myself how to problem solve without stopping. I'm trying to get everything to match the energy that I started with, so that when I get there, there's no hesitation. I kind of proofread that in the feel of it, in the flow of it. Right? So if we look at the flow drills in the beginning, the ability to understand that and what it can offer you, it goes beyond the basic steps of a flow drill. Because at that surface level, it's just technique. It's what we can do with it. It's what it teaches us to give us bits and pieces from different avenues and different situations, where then we can use that to apply specifically to the opponent or the situation at hand. And then same thing with disarms, right? Disarm, like I can disarm him any way possible, but it's that setup, it's that connection, it's that ability to go from one to the next if I failed. Because the last thing I want to do is get here, come over here, and I punch, and I don't get it, and now I'm freaking out, I don't know what to do, right? I don't know if I should punch him again, I don't know if I should let go of this, I don't know if I should kick him, I don't know if I should disengage and strike him again and get a new reference point. My flow was cut off here. So if I make a mistake, that's fine, I just gotta flow to the next one. Right? So whether we train it in the disarms itself or we train it in flow drills with partners, there's a lot of individual benefit, let alone the communal benefit between you and your partner. We both get to train this. We both get a chance to work at a speed that's efficient for us, that's not too challenging, not too easy. and everybody wins. And no one gets hurt. That's the most important part. That makes sense, yes sir?
Yes, sir.